What would it be like to go through Armageddon if it was the way that the witnesses said it was going to be? Think about that. The more you think about it, the more surreal, the more bizarre, the more zombie apocalypse-like it becomes. So, according to Watchtower theology, you're a faithful Jehovah's Witness, you go through Armageddon. 7 billion people are dead. They're lying. There's piles and piles of bodies everywhere. There's rubble, there's smoke, there's trash. Water's running through the streets. Electrical wires are bzz, 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 zapping around. Everything's just in chaos. And then the animals, all of a sudden every animal on the earth turns and starts to consume the dead bodies. Every animal starts to eat these 7 billion dead people, right? The chickens are eating them. The cat, the dog, the mouse, the beaver, they're all eating the dead bodies, okay? Now, if you happen to live in a civilized place, like you live in, in North America, or you live in Europe or something, there isn't that many wild animals. I mean, there's some deers and there's elk, there's geese, but we're not. If you live in Africa, there's lions and stuff. But most places isn't like that, in the world. So you got barnyard animals, you've got frogs, whatever. Sparrows that are just zombie-like, feeding on the flesh of people. They're feeding on 7 billion people's flesh. Okay? If you take Revelation literally, if you take the Armageddon story literally as told by, many Christian groups, but particularly we're talking about the Watchtower right now. Think about that existence, okay? Because in the Watchtower, it's all about, as soon as Armageddon hits, you have all these happy people, these shiny, happy people walking away from the rubble, and then in the very next little drawing, they're laying in a hammock, passing this big bowl of fruit around, and having a meeting. And then one of the newer publications, they've got books out, and they're having a Kingdom Hall type meeting out on this little, paradise setting. Well, it's not going to be like that. It's going to be a zombie apocalypse. Every animal is just going to start eating the people. And then it's not even done then. It's not over at that point. It gets worse. Because then you have 7 billion skeletons. 7 billion skeletons now are still to be discarded, right? Something's got to happen to them. So that means that now we're all going around with wheelbarrows scooping up 7 billion skeletons. And how long is it going to take us to clean up all the skeletons? Dozens of years, 100 years, 10 years, even a week would be hell, would be pure misery. You'd never recover from it. You'd be so freaked out. So the more you think about it, the less it makes sense. The less it makes sense. Something is not right. This would not be a blessing. This would not be a paradise. It would be a nightmare. It would be a TV show, a horrible one. It would be a horror movie, and you would not want to be in it. If you had to clean up 7 billion skeletons, if you had to watch 7 billion people being eaten by your cat. When you really start to think about it, it's nuts. It's crazy. So, is that the kind of new world that you want to live in? I don't want to live in that kind of a new world. It's misery. So when you analyze it, it doesn't make sense. And I guess my rant is over now, but the more that I thought about it and think about it, the less sense, that whole literal interpretation makes to me personally.
The order is rapidly fading, for the times they are a-changing.